Hi, this is Matthew Robert Payne, and I hope that you're blessed. This video is called Indie Authors, The Benefits of Outsourcing. As an author, I'm a non-fiction Christian author. As an author, it can be very helpful to develop a team around you. If you're going to make a habit of writing books, it can be really beneficial to have your own group of people that will do specific and much needed tasks that are needed to publish a book. So I have a professional editor, a professional graphic artist, and a person who does formatting and laying up my books, and a person who does my audiobooks for me. The editor charges me a good rate for my books because I do so many books for her. My graphic artist charges me about $220 Australian. The person who does the formatting charges me about $260 Australian. The person who does my audiobooks charges me about $100 American, which is, I think, about $140 Australian. So it can add up, especially the editing part. So let's discuss that. One of the most important things for a book, some could say the most important thing in a book, is the book's title. I was blessed in early years to read a number of books on advertising, and I learned in those books written by professional copywriters who made a living out of writing advertisements. I learned that even a journalist in a newspaper doesn't get to write the headlines for each of their journalistic stories. It's the actual editor of the newspaper that writes the headlines. I learned off these copywriters that 90% of people who read a paper only read the headline. So don't start to read a piece unless the headline attracts them. So it's very important to write a good headline. So a good editor can help you with a headline. And that's what I want to get to. My editor also writes the back cover for my books, or the blurb for my books. So because my editor reads my book 3 times in the editing process, she gets a good concept of what my book is about, and she's very good at writing a blurb and can be an assistant in writing the actual headline, the actual title for a book. So some people who self-publish a book haven't got a lot of money. A lot of people haven't got a lot of money, and you've got to weigh up for yourself whether you're going to pay a professional editor. Are you going to have your auntie or your grandmother or your friend who's got an English degree, or some friend of yours who thinks they're an editor? Are you going to have them edit your book on the cheap? And that's mostly the reason why people do that, because they do it on the cheap. I can tell you, after having Lisa, who's my editor, has been my editor for about 48 books of mine, I can say that even if people offered to edit my book for free, I would not go from paying Lisa to edit my books. I wouldn't even pay a cheaper editor. If I haven't got the money to get a book edited, I've got to wait until I do have the money to get a book edited, because Lisa is a professional. So if you're going to successfully write a number of books and you want to collect the following, it's really beneficial to get a professional editor. And I'll put Lisa's Facebook address in the description tag of this video, so you can contact her on Facebook and say that you saw a video by Matthew Robert Payne and you're interested in hiring her services. She's a Christian. She's a Christian editor. What's very good about Lisa is she'll edit books where I say things that she doesn't agree with, and she'll edit my book to make it sound very good, and she won't change or try and change my opinion on what I think. And if you know Christians, they tend to have varying degrees and varying understandings of certain Bible verses. What I love about Lisa is she doesn't try and convert me, and I don't try and convert her, and she does a professional job. The same is true. I'm sure that she can edit books by people who are Christians. I'm not sure that she'd edit horror. I don't think her Christian values would allow her to edit pornography or erotic fiction, but most subjects would be safe with her. So you may wonder, why have I used her 48 times? Because I'm too scared to use anyone else. She's that good. She's very good. So I have graphic artists that I've used for about 50 books of mine. If you go onto my Amazon homepage, you'll notice they have brackets around the writing of a lot of my books, and that's like a logo brand that people who read my books tend to recognize. They can be elsewhere on Amazon and see that brand and recognize that may be a book of mine. So I'll mention his name in the description tag of this video, and you can use him. He's very good. I found him on Fiverr. I went through a lot of the graphic artists' portfolios. A good person on Fiverr will show you examples of their former work, so you can get an idea of the style. I particularly like the style of this graphic artist, and one day I saw an actual book with that brackets template on it, and it was written by an author that I really like, and so I asked him to do that style on my books, and I've actually written to the author and asked him if it was okay that I use that. So that's sort of my branding now on my books, and he does a wonderful job. I know he mightn't have to do much work to do my cover, seeing as he seems to have the same template for all of them, but he does a wonderful job. I find with my books, I get the title, and then I go to Shutterstock, film photo stock images, and I pick the image for all my books. So most of the images on my books were picked by me. But this graphic artist that I suggest will mock up 3 different covers for you, and part of the price of paying for a cover is the stock image is included in the price. So he'll buy the stock image professionally for you and lay that up. It's really important to work with people that you're used to, that you have a good relationship with. Over time, the graphic artists charge me a cheaper rate. Over time, my editor charged me a cheaper rate, and that's really good. I haven't got the person who's typesetting my book to give me a cheaper rate yet, but we all have to pay for what we do. The person who does my typesetting does a pretty good job. They've made a couple of mistakes, but they were able to fix that up and get it satisfactory. The book before last on Amazon, when I loaded up the paperback, it had an error in the book cover and had errors in the typesetting, and I had to write both to the graphic artist and to the typesetter and show them what Amazon said, and they fixed it, and then the book uploaded. So it's helpful for that to have a typesetter that can fix up your book. I'm not technical. Some people work out how to design a Kindle work out how to design a book on Kindle. Some people are able to do that for themselves. Some people know how to lay up a book for a paperback and produce a PDF. I don't know how to do that. So you don't need to do that. And I'll list in the description tag who lays up my book. Also had a publisher I was using for a number of years, and I used for a lot of books, and I departed from him recently, but I have come back to him now and paying him $100 US to organise getting audio books laid up for me, and I'm paying him $100 US for each of them. And what he does is he arranges for the narrator of the audio book to do it for free, and then the narrator gets 50% of the royalties on your book. I think it's a good deal. All I have to do is pay this publisher $100, and then my book starts earning money. What's different about me is I'm not in the business of making a lot of money from my books. I'm in the business of projecting a message and teaching people how to grow closer in their relationship to Jesus Christ. So my thrust of my ministry, the thrust of my writing, is to project a message and bring change in people's lives. My thrust isn't to make money. And my Kindle books are 99 cents each, and all but one of them, and I'm in the business of educating people. So it's really helpful to have a team. If you were getting professionally published with a publishing house that have graphic artists that they employ, that have editors that they employ, and that have people that do the layup of your book, both your paperback book and your Kindle book. And so if you're going to write more than one book, it's good and handy and beneficial to have a professional team producing your book. And I just thought I'd share a video on that subject, on developing a team. I haven't got a marketing team. I don't do any official marketing. I just simply rely on publishing my books and advertising to my Facebook followers that I've got a new book out. Many people who are readers of my books read all of my books, and so I like to keep the quality and the standard to each of my books, such that I had one or two books that I wasn't happy during the editing process with the book, and I pulled the book. And I hope that you would be able to do that too if a book wasn't coming along with the quality that you were hoping it would become. So I hope this is helpful. I hope that you can go down into the description tag and search out the team that I use for the publishing of my books. If you like this video, press thumbs up. If you like my channel, press subscribe. There's an actual playlist. If you look up the playlist on my channel, you'll find a playlist for indie authors, and this video is just part of one of a series in that playlist, and you might want to go and look at that playlist. If you got a comment, I'd love to hear your comment. God bless.